If this is your first time here, welcome. If it's not your first time here, what's up? Welcome back. How you doing? How you been? We've been doing like the motorcycle thing between bar and mirrors and reviews for the last couple of weeks. So I'm feeling like we need to get back into the art and design side of things for a little while. And there are a ton of super cool flying vehicles out there. The Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt 2, better known as the A-10 Warthog, is among those vehicles at the top of that cool list. Today we are going to sketch the A-10, but first let's talk a little bit about the history of the aircraft. Now if that's not your thing, I have time-stamped this video so you can jump ahead. I did that just for you. The Fairchild Republic A-10 Thunderbolt II entered service into the United States Air Force in 1976 and has seen action in both Gulf Wars, Afghanistan, and Libya, to name just a few of the theaters it's performed in. The A-10, also known as the Tank Buster, is built and designed around a General Electric GAU-8A hydraulically driven 7-barrel 30mm cannon that is centrally mounted at the nose of the A-10 and is designed specifically for an anti-tank role. The A-10 was designed for use as a close air support vehicle, and because of the low and dirty nature of the A-10's fighting style, durability was a key consideration during the design process. All major systems have a redundancy system or a backup system. Fuel is located in the center of the plane rather than around the engine, as you'll more commonly find. The cockpit and flight control systems are surrounded by a 1,200-pound bathtub of titanium that is able to withstand multiple strikes from a 23mm cannon, and the front windscreen and canopy are resistant to small arms fire. The legendary General Sun Tzu wrote a book called The Art of War, and in this book he says, "Prohibit the taking of omens, and do away with superstitious doubts. Then, until death itself comes, no calamity need be feared." Now, I don't know exactly what that has to do with drawing. What the f***? We start by laying in the overall proportion and perspective, creating a skeletal framework and using a Prismacolor very thin pencil to ensure that our marks aren't too dark and therefore difficult to overlay later in the sketch. We lightly sketch in the major and minor axes for the engine ellipses and start building the engine shapes. We then begin to build section lines and contour lines off of the skeleton framework. We're taking extra precaution here to draw lightly so that we can make adjustments later on in the sketch. At this stage, we want to block in all of the details so that we can overlay them at the next phase and really start to punch out some of the details. Once the overall shape of the vehicle is established, we come back in with a standard Prismacolor, which has a thicker lead or wax point, and begin to lay in more detail and shading. Working with the very thin earlier in this sketch allows us to make some changes or adjustments with a darker Prismacolor and to hide some of the initial sketch work or the construction lines. A little smoke coming from the weapon adds that extra touch of coolness. Using the side of the pencil, we can come in and start to lay in nice gradients and shading. Here we start to add some depth to the engine shapes, which are a pretty simple cylinder with a single core and some reflected light. Now, while we do add some shadows here towards the rear of the sketch, we do want to keep our darkest darks towards the front of the sketch. This helps to create the effect of an atmospheric perspective. And there are tons of mechanical details that we can capture on this A-10. I've chosen to call out or to sketch out just the few that really stand out. Don't forget to add the pilot. He or she is an important part of this aircraft. Once all of the details are placed, we want to go through and make sure that the values are reading properly and make some adjustments where needed. Then we'll go through and just add some finishing touches. If you found value here today, drop a like, subscribe, and we'll see you again soon.